This is student meteorologist Matthew Wisnett here with the Thursday edition of FSU weather, and it's looking absolutely gorgeous outside at Doak Campbell Stadium. We have this nice big cumulus cloud right now sitting in those upper 60s, but it's been a very pleasant day to be outside with a lot of sunshine. You can see right now we're cooling off into those upper 60s in a lot of areas. Quincy's still in those low 70s though, so some areas still in those 70s even though we are starting to cool off as we go into the night. Now live radar, not a lot going on. We have had some controlled burns to the south, but overall it has been a very clear day. Now tonight we're going to see some rain and showers enter our forecast as we'll see those rain showers continue into tomorrow. But the headlines are going to be those spring temperatures really sticking around. The rain returns to the forecast, and once again, Thursday sports. All this and more on FSU weather.
Welcome back to your Thursday night edition of FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Chris Malve here, taking a live look over Tallahassee right now. Seeing some pretty nice skies right now. We're at 69 degrees right now, so pretty mild conditions all around the Big Bend. Taking a look around the region, seeing those upper 60s, low 70s in some places, 72 over in Quincy. Pretty mild conditions all around. This weather kind of reminds me of banana ball. You got those yellows, you got the greens, and they're coming into town this weekend, so I'm definitely excited to talk a little more about that during the sportscast. We're feeling a bit breezy though right now. Seeing some of those stronger gusts up towards Marietta, 14 in downtown and also 12 miles an hour over in Cross City. So we're getting that southerly flow to help us cool down a little bit, but looking ahead towards the next 12 hours, we got those temperatures going to be dipping down into the low 60s, but our chances for rain enter back into the forecast. We'll be kind of dealing with those hit and miss showers in the early morning hours. So unfortunately, this is going to affect my early morning shift tomorrow morning. So definitely going to need that raincoat with me. For tonight's radar and kind of headed into tomorrow morning, those clouds will stick around. We'll kind of start to see those showers start to pop up around 5 a.m. But notice this big line of storms associated with that weak front that's going to be moving our way. And that's going to give us some more much needed rain tomorrow morning, and by 5 o'clock, most of that will be out of the way. Still a few clouds and maybe a few spotty showers here and there, but by Saturday, we'll be mostly in the clear for the most part, so that'll be some much better weather, at least for the Savannah Banana game on Saturday. But for tonight, again, you're going to want that umbrella. We're going to be dealing with some showers tonight, so that will cause some disruptions for your evening plans. Tonight, we'll be dealing with that rain. It's kind of been the big story, but we're going to be sitting in the 60s for most of us throughout the Florida Big Bend. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be dealing with those showers. We're only going to reach 69 around noon, so not too much of a warm-up tomorrow. We'll be kind of dealing with most of that cloud cover throughout the day. So if we break the 70s, we really only see anything in the low 70s. But it should be not getting too warm, but still, you're going to want that umbrella. We're going to be seeing those pretty big rain chances on Friday. Those chances are going to really die off by the rest of the week. So the big story here is Friday. We're going to be dealing with some scattered showers, possibly a rumble of thunder too, so something to keep an eye out for. The rest of the week though, look at that. Beautiful sunny skies ahead. Now let's hand things over to Matt, who's going to give us a better idea of what's going on in the state of Florida.
Yeah, the rest of the state looking very sunny, though. We're seeing a little bit of that smoke from some of those burns down in South Florida here in Tampa, Orlando, that bright sunshine as we start getting into those later evening hours. Now, 75 in Orlando, Jacksonville at 74, Tallahassee a little bit on the cooler side at 70. Meanwhile, Miami also at 75, them cooling off a little bit as they were in those upper 70s earlier today. Now, as we look at the radar, we can see a couple of storms, but not really much to make out of it. A couple of clouds. You can even see some of the smoke from those burns down in South Florida. Now, here across Central Florida, a couple of clouds as well, but for the most part, pretty clear and not a lot of showers on the radar right now. Now, as we keep going into tomorrow, we're going to see those line of storms really start moving in here in Tallahassee around that noon o'clock time. Panama City could also see a heavy line of storms as well. And those line of storms will slowly start making their way to Central Florida by that dinner time. later afternoon hours when we're really going to start seeing that rain move into those areas, but they'll move out in a pretty big hurry, and by Saturday it's going to be a pretty nice day. We'll see a couple of storms around Lake Okeechobee, but for the most part the rest of the state going to stay very dry with some clouds starting to make their way in for maybe a little bit more of a foggier Sunday. Now tonight across the state we'll see that rain here in the Big Bend, but in Central Florida just those clouds keeping it a little bit on the gloomier side if you are going to be outside. Maybe not the best night to be stargazing, but for the most part going to be on the drier side from Central Florida all the way down to Miami. Now the big story will be the rain up here in the Big Bend. That's going to keep us on the drier side, well not drier side, the cooler side of things. But here in Central Florida, look, it's 83 degrees. That line right here through Gainesville going to be a dividing line as everybody south of Orlando going to be in those upper 70s to even 80s, even those mid 80s for some areas. Everyone above going to be sitting in those lower 70s, maybe in those upper 60s, depending on how long you have that storm coverage. Now for Miami tomorrow, we're going to see warming up into those 80s once again. Those showers start making their way on Saturday. That's when we'll see our best chance of rain. Then Sunday, a couple of lingering showers, but still sitting in those upper 70s, so going to be a warm weekend overall. And then Tampa, same type of deal. We're going to see that rain, though, on the earlier side of things on Friday before we start warming back up into money. Look, it's 82 degrees in early March. That is warm here in Florida. Now, Orlando, we'll see that rain on the front side as well. 82 tomorrow, still very warm. A big 10 degree about temp drop overall, but we start warming back up into those 80s to start the work week. So it's going to be just a warm week to start for next week as you're walking out the door, but overall it's going to be a warm weekend. Now I'm going to turn over to Chris with all the great sports we have going on. What's the weather looking like?
That's right. We kind of got a variety pack of sports as well as weather, so let's just hop right into this week's edition of the Sportscast. Starting off with one that I think all the weather lovers like myself will enjoy. We got the Tampa Bay Lightning taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. Personally, I'm from Tampa. I got the Lightning winning this one. Going to be still in the mid-50s throughout the game, so pretty steady for the most part, but if you're heading out after the game, still will be pretty cloudy for the most part. Now taking a look at the Minnesota Wild versus the Colorado Avalanche. Clear skies for the most part. Will be able to cool down to the mid-40s, so you might want to bring a jacket for this one. It will be pretty chilly over there in Denver. Now, another big game. This is the Miami Heat. We're switching to basketball now, taking on the 76ers. Now, hopefully, the Miami Heat will be able to keep that heat, bring it into the stadium, because it's going to be pretty chilly for them. I mean, 41 by 8 o'clock, so hopefully they can translate that to the court. 35 by the end of the game. So if you're in Philly for this game, you're going to want to bundle up for this one. It will be quite cold out there. But taking a look at the Houston Rockets and the Orlando Magic, they're playing tonight. Much warmer game for them. Still going to be seeing some clouds, but you'll be in the 70s for the most part throughout the game. So pretty nice weather for them. Now, the Minnesota Timberwolves will be playing the Clippers, and we're going to be in the lower 50s for the most part. Again, temperature staying quite steady throughout the game, so pretty decent weather. Now, switching gears to baseball. Unfortunately, this game will be a bit of a washout. I would not be surprised if we see a possible delay for this game. First pitch dealing with some rain, and could even be hearing a brief rumble of thunder or two in this one, so I wouldn't be surprised if this game either gets delayed. Hopefully not canceled. We're still going to hope for the best, but definitely would bring a poncho for that one. Good news is, though, for banana ball, we got much more pleasant weather. Still going to be at 67, so I would call that pretty mild, pretty fair weather. Not too bad. Maybe a jacket would be nice to bring, but should be pretty good conditions if you were lucky enough to get some tickets to this game. So definitely one I'll be looking forward to this weekend. But maybe if you didn't get tickets to the game, what else can you do around Tallahassee, Matt?
There's going to be a lot of things to do around Tallahassee this weekend, but just another beautiful sunset as we look outside at our FSU Sportsplex camera, and Panama City overall just looking beautiful. But if you're trying to hit the pickleball courts tonight before that rain, we're going to see some overcast skies. You might need to watch out for that breeze messing up your serve, but overall, going to be a very pleasant night to be out getting some late night pickleball. But if you're staying out too late, you could see those showers really interrupting your plans after midnight. So your best time will probably be around 11 p.m. to be wrapping up any late night plans. Now for your dog walk, we'll see that rain early in the morning, 7 a.m. If you're going to get up that early, you might be able to dodge some of the showers, but it might just be a day to just keep the dog inside and just wait until maybe Saturday, where we'll have a lot more pleasant temperatures as well as drier air. Now, for the pool forecast, once again, that rain's really just going to wash out, make it not a great day to be at the pool, and just a lot of cloud coverage also means maybe not a great day to tan. It's just going to be a very stormy, overcast day for the most part, so not the greatest day to be out. Now, airport delays right now in Tallahassee, we are sitting in the green. We're sitting all clear, nothing to worry about. But the rest of the nation seeing a little bit of an uptick at MCO in Orlando, a very busy airplane hub, and it's just going to continue to increase as we'll see those storms later tomorrow making their effect for any arriving flights or departing flights. So if you're flying MCO, give yourself some extra time as well as make sure to be prepared for maybe some delays for some of those flights. Now, the weekday forecast, we will be a little bit cooler tomorrow in those lower 70s due to the rain. Then on Saturday, we'll start warming up into those mid 70s, and then we could see the low 80s to start next week. It's going to be a very hot week across the Big Bend region and across much of the state of Florida. But don't forget to follow us on X at FSU Weather, as well as on Facebook at FSU Weather. We're also on Instagram at FSU Weather, so like and subscribe. And then don't forget to subscribe to us on FSU Weather on YouTube. And then for TikTok, follow us at FSU Weather. One last look at your 7-day forecast.